Now this is a video that I've talked about a lot, and it didn't seem possible anymore with only 2 character slots remaining for the final wave, and then Nintendo said, no, we got 4. I've seen a lot of people making videos and talking about the additional characters that we could still get, because Nintendo never really said that that was it. They never did put a cap to it, and if Nintendo's going to add 4 brand new characters, well, technically returning characters, what's stopping them from adding even more? So I've seen tons of videos of people speculating what other characters could be added, because there's still a lot more from Tour that are not in the game yet. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about the potential of us getting one special track left that Nintendo is just going to surprise us with, like a completely brand new one that comes from a completely other IP. Like, what if they gave us a Dreamland track from Kirby, or another F-Zero track for F-Zero, or maybe even something grander like another Legend of Zelda track. There's a lot of things that they could do, and I was really excited to bring up those options. Today, I don't want to just talk about additional characters that we could get coming from past Mario Kart games, or even new tracks that we could get. I'm going to talk about new characters that we could get. These could be characters coming from the already existing Mario franchise, but just not in Mario Kart before. These aren't going to be returning characters, these are brand new ones. Whether it is from a Mario game or from a completely different IP, these are some characters I think could have a chance to actually appear in Mario Kart as a last bonus character. But thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy this Mario Kart content and Mario in general. It'll also help me know that you guys really love this content, and also a majority of you right now are not yet subscribed, so it'll only take a second. Thank you so much, and let's jump into the video. So for one, is there a chance that Nintendo actually adds brand new characters, or at least one brand new one to end the wave? Well, I think there's always a chance. You gotta remember that Nintendo has completely changed their mind with how they've done pretty much this entire DLC thing. I mean, at first it was just old tracks coming, and then they started adding brand new Nitro ones from Tour and stuff, so everybody's like, whoa, okay. And then it was just tracks alone, but then they started adding characters, like, okay, this is getting even weirder. And then they said you're getting 6 returning characters, and then that's it. And then what? They added additional 2 more, which makes it now 8 returning characters. So there's really no basis to go off of here. We don't know what Nintendo's gonna do. They can do whatever they possibly want. And with the final wave, what's stopping Nintendo from either giving us a brand new, crazy new track that we've never seen before, or maybe a crazy new addition to the character roster that we've never seen before? So right out the bat, I'm saying that there is a chance that we could get a brand new character that's not a character we've seen in past Mario Kart games, or one that's kind of a big surprise to us to end the final wave of this DLC and finally close Mario Kart 8 off for good. So if we get a brand new character, who is it going to be? Well, this could be anybody. But first, I want to kind of start off with characters that I feel like should be in this game by now. The first one, and I'm going to get it out the gate because everyone probably thinks so as well, is Kirby. How in the world is Kirby not in this game? Kirby just seems like one of Nintendo's major IPs at this time. There's so many Kirby games on the Switch. How does Kirby not only have no character in this game, but no track as well? It just doesn't make sense, especially when games like F-Zero has 2 tracks and a kart in this game. For F-Zero to have more representation in Mario Kart than Kirby is kind of nuts. So give Kirby a Warp Star kart and put him in this game. I think it would be amazing to see him as a final character, and I'm sure everyone in the world would want to play as Kirby in Mario Kart. Since we just brought him up, let's go to the obvious one here. Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon, once again, having 2 F-Zero tracks in the game already and the Blue Falcon kart, so how in the world is Captain Falcon himself not in this game? Especially with the return of F-Zero, kind of, with F-Zero 99 now on the Switch Online. This just kind of makes sense now, and a perfect way to end it off, and maybe Nintendo wants to slowly gear up for another F-Zero game by slowly bringing Captain Falcon back to the light. Obviously, being huge in Smash Brothers, what better way to do that with F-Zero 99 and Captain Falcon becoming the last character in Mario Kart 8, and eventually maybe even they could do a port of F-Zero GX and stuff to slowly bring back F-Zero. There's a lot of things they could do with that, but I think Mario Kart is the first way. It just kind of makes sense. It's a kart racer. Bring Captain Falcon in here. We do have Link in the game, one from his original look and an alt for his Breath of the Wild look, and we even have a Hyrule Circuit. So how in the world is Zelda not in this game as well? It just kind of makes sense. As far as the other Zelda characters, they're not really needed, but Link and Zelda, it just seems right up the same alley. I guess you could also throw in Ganondorf in that argument as well, as the 3 would be awesome to have in Mario Kart, but Ganondorf himself might even be pushing it. But just having Zelda, after there is a Zelda track in the game, also is one of those, to me, that just makes too much sense to not be in the game. She can also rock different alts, maybe based on the game that she comes from, maybe like a Tears of the Kingdom one as well, or maybe one based off of the Smash Bros version, which is also based off of Link Between Worlds, I believe. But yeah, just give us different Zelda alts and just put Zelda in the game in general. Now, Samus is a weird one. I could understand completely why a lot of people would want her in the game, but it'd be hard for her to kind of work, mostly because she has an arm cannon, so she'd have to like be driving with one hand, which she could definitely do that. Or maybe they just put her other arm up on the wheel. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal. Maybe they give her a suit with just 2 arms and no arm cannon. That would work as well. Or maybe a Zero Suit alt would work really well also. But just having Samus in the game in some capacity would be great. We have Inklings in the game right now, but isn't it slightly wrong that we don't have the counterpart, the Octolings as well, which made a big debut in Splatoon 2, and now, you know, just prominent roles all the way up into Splatoon 3. They should be part of the roster. Now, even if they aren't individual character selects, maybe we could get them as alts later on, which is for another video. But at the same time, Octolings is a character that also should appear in this game, and it wouldn't really be that hard to include. They're really just different hairstyles, technically. That's really about it. They already have a battle stage with Urchin Underpass in the game, so it really doesn't make sense why we don't have Octolings yet. That felt like a thing that they definitely could have included, at least the Octolings, especially for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But there's still time. There could be a surprise character at the end, and it probably wouldn't be the Octolings if it had to be one character, but I could see eventually these characters coming to the game, whether it be in the future or as alts in this game. Now, yes, we could probably go through and name even more characters, just kind of pulling from Smash Bros at this point would also be really cool, like Pit, Little Mac, and maybe even Lucas and Ness, but at the same time, lots of those franchises are kind of dead at the moment, so it's hard to say that those characters would come, but my last one would probably have to be a Pokemon rep, which probably never in a million years would happen because Nintendo's weird with Pokemon. It's just like they represent them as part of Nintendo, but they don't really represent them when it comes to spin-off games or them appearing in other games. But if it was to be a Pokemon, it would for sure be Pikachu. I think people would love to play as a little electric mouse racing through in Mario Kart, and I think it would become a heavily popular character and one that would make sense as a final character. That's only if Nintendo and the Pokemon team came to an agreement to make this happen, which probably will never happen, at least not in this current game. Now, are there any surprising Mario characters that could come as a final guest character, technically, since they haven't been in Mario Kart before? Maybe I could see them doing something maybe a little smaller, something that we weren't expecting, like they kind of did with Smash Brothers as the final character, where they just threw in Piranha Plant, where it was like, what? So I could definitely see the same thing happening with Mario Kart. For instance, they could throw in a Piranha Plant, maybe a little piped Piranha Plant that can drive, or maybe a Goomba for Mario Kart would be really cool. I mean, we see Goomba in pretty much every Mario game ever, spin-offs and mainline alike, so why not give Goomba the spotlight? There's lots of enemies already in Mario Kart. For instance, you have Shy Guys and Koopa Troopas, so why not throw in a Goomba as well, or Piranha Plant? I think both of those options would be good ones. Besides the fact that there's a Piranha Plant item in the game, yeah, probably not Piranha Plant. And I guess if you want to get technical, there's Piranha Plant enemies that walk on a track. I don't think that matters, but I guess. I know they technically still need to add Dixie Kong from Mario Kart Tour, but they could add more like Cranky Kong or maybe the main enemy, King K. Rool, especially after coming back in Smash Bros. Ultimate. It would be great to see the big Donkey Kong baddie in this game as well, especially with Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and even Cranky Kong in the game now. That would just make a lot of sense. Another character that could be on the potential rise is Professor Egad from Mario & Luigi and Luigi's Mansion. With Luigi's Mansion becoming one of the biggest, most popular games for Nintendo and Dark Moon coming just next year, it would also make a lot of sense to see Egad in this game, and I think a lot of people would like him. Maybe not last character like him, but they'll like him. A series that's not only been going on forever, but it's getting even more popular, especially with the remake of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Throw in Paper Mario with a paper cart in this game. I think people would go crazy over that, just to see a new version of Mario that's actually new and not just him in a Tanuki suit. And of course, I'm just going to group all these together that I don't think is actually going to happen, but if they wanted to go throughout the entire Mario & Luigi series and just throw in characters from the series itself, they could do that, like Popple, they could do Cacletta, they could do Antasma, you know, Princess Shroob, any of the Shroobs, those are all options for sure. The last character that has any sort of relevance as of today would have to be Cappy. Cappy just makes a lot of sense because of how big Mario Odyssey was, and he became a really loved, beloved character that people want to see return. And not to mention the capture mechanic being one of the best things Nintendo's ever did for Mario. But seeing Cappy would be awesome. He was a really fun character, and I would love to see him return, especially considering the fact that if we don't get a Odyssey 2, we probably won't see Cappy anytime soon, if ever again. Which is sad. Bring him back in Mario Kart. It's a perfect way to do so. But besides Cappy, I guess if you wanted to go to Mario Wonder and throw in a new character from that game to support that game coming out, you could do that. The only new character I think we have is Prince Florian, which would be, I guess, kind of cool. A caterpillar, unless he transforms into something else at the end of the game. I don't know, maybe a caterpillar. But overall, Nintendo has tons of options for new characters they could add to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as a final kind of surprise character that we weren't expecting. One that's not just a returning character from past Mario Kart games. But let me know in the comments down below if you think this is even possible. Do you think Nintendo could surprise us with a guest character? And if so, what character would you like to see? If you could only choose one, whether it's from the Mario franchise or from another one from Nintendo, who would you want to be in the game that's not just a returning character, a brand new one? But thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out today. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.